Professor Mikey here. Welcome to a special holiday edition of Old School. It's the All-American Red, White, and Blue Mixtape. There's a lot of sounds coming your way. Sit back, relax, dance, whatever you do when you sit back. Thanks for coming to America. People have been thinking about our country musically for a long time. Francis Scott Key was a prisoner of war when he wrote the words that became the lyrics for the Star-Spangled Banner. He lived in a time where his song never got offered as a ringtone. Catherine Lee Bates was a tourist high atop Colorado's Pike Peak when she came up with that great line about amber waves of grain. Eventually, she crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Rounding out that big three was Kate Smith, belting out a revamped version of God Bless America in 1938. About 20 years after Irving Berlin wrote it the first time.
And now we take great pleasure in presenting to you the star of our program, Miss Kate Smith.
Hello, everybody. It is my happy privilege to introduce a new song. God bless America.
Times have changed since Kate Smith. For one thing, we've developed mixtapes. That's when you take a lot of songs that you like, whether they're hits, whether they're obscure, you put them together for your friends in a collage style. Today, we're doing it for America. From the John Phillips sousaphone to the MP3, from the upswing to the download, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam, here are a handful of songs that were born in the USA. From all times, for all times, happy 4th of July. And welcome to the All-American Red, White, and Blue Mixtape. And God bless the Beach Boys.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn.
Propelled back home from overseas to the the shores of the Delaware Bay. You can bet your life I did till I got back in the USA. Looking hard for a drive-in, searching for a corner cafe, where hamburgers sizzle on an open grill night and day. Yeah, and the jukebox jumping with records like in the USA. Well, I'm so glad I'm living in the USA. Yes, I'm so glad I'm living in the USA. Anything you want, they got it right here in the USA. I'm so glad I'm living in the USA.
That's a Chuck Berry classic called Back in the USA. So the story goes, if you asked the late Johnny Cash how he felt about America, it took him about 3 days to answer. Here, he does it in about 3 minutes on the Red, White, and Blue All-American Mixtape.
I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night that Francis Scott Key sat watching it write and say, 'Can you see?' And it got a bad rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. And it almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on, though. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they've about quit waving back here at home. In her own good land here, she's been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare and she's wearing thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in. 'Cause she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, we take her down every night, we don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I do like to brag, 'cause I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
Back in 1969, the motion picture Easy Rider portrayed two young bikers out looking for America, all to the tune of a psychedelic soundtrack. In the 70s, Honda introduced the Goldwing for a new generation. In this next set, Roger McGuinn sings the original Bird song, The Ballad of Easy Rider, and from 2011, Portland's Blitzen Trapper waxes nostalgic for the American Goldwing. America, as seen over the handlebars.
river flows, it flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, flow, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to some other town. All he wanted was to be free, and that's the way it turned out to be. Flow, river, flow, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to some other town. Go, river, go, past a shaded tree. Flow, river, flow, flow to the sea. Flow, river, flow, flow to the sea. Ride these waters dark and dusty, so ride my people, ride with your muskets aimed at the falling rain, 'cause the city ain't no place to hide. Oh, my sisters in the boat behind, baby, 'cause the cry my lover's mind is made, and I think it's time to get on board. I left my home and all my money to wrestling with the wind. On an ongoing wing, gonna cross the ocean, 'cause I heard that it's a heck of a swim. Oh, my sisters left to be an Indian's bride, baby, 'cause the times, maybe 'cause the tides that rise. Ain't it funny how the time just flies? Oh, Lord, don't you think it's time to get on board? Well, my gasket's blown from striking the stone, gonna curse the cave where I was made. I know I'll be staying if the wind don't blow. Oh Lord, you know I guess I better get on board. Get your Harley going 1980, ride my baby ride. We roll so low, best the devil's getting it up through the valley below. Oh, my sister's playing in a rock and roll band, maybe curse the sky, curse the land. It's true that I'm only just passing through. Oh Lord, and I think it's time to get on board. I know I'll be staying if the wind don't blow. Oh Lord, you know I think it's time to get on board.
Now we'll go from 21st century Blitzin' Trapper back to 1971 and the beginning of John Prine's career with the release of his first album. Vietnam was on the nightly news, while back home another war was being fought with patriotic bumper stickers. Some said, "America, love it or leave it." Some said, "Spiro is my hero." John Prine had an original take with "Your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore."
While digesting Reader's Digest in the back of the dirty bookstore, a plastic flag with gum on the back fell out on the floor. Well, I picked it up and I ran outside, slapped it on my window shield. And if I could see old Betsy Ross, I'd tell her how good I feel. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I went to the bank this morning and the cashier said to me, if you join the Christmas club, we'll give you 10 of them flags for free. Well, I didn't mess around a bit, I took him up on what he said, and I stuck them stickers all over my car and one on my wife's forehead. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I got my window shields so filled with flags I couldn't see, so I ran the car upside a curve right into a tree. By the time they got a doctor down, I was already dead. And I'll never understand why the man standing in the pearly gate said, but your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. We're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore.
Any song that mentions Velveeta cheese and Mount Rushmore in the same line can't be all bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the patriotic Alice Cooper.
I love that mountain with those four big heads. I love Velveeta slapped on Wonder Bread. I love a commie if he's good and dead. Yeah. I love Old Glory and homemade pie. I think them Ruskies should be sterilized. I love my chicken Kentucky fried. Finger, leg, and good.
Hey there, this is A.D. Cooper from Cooper's Carnival of Clean and Classic Cars. It's our 4th of July sale here at Cooper's Carnival of Clean and Classic Cars at the corner of Collins and Collins. I got a lot full of the finest one little cars one can buy if the prices even you can afford. So come on down and say hello to me and Granny and bring the kids to meet my snake. I say bye, Granny says bye, and the snake says,
I love General Patton in World War II. A pocket fisherman and my crazy glue. I love the Beav and Wally too. Yeah! I love the bomb, hot dogs, and mustard. I love my girl, but I sure don't trust her. I love what the Indians did to Custer. Here they come.
Now, the early days of rock and roll were not smooth with gracious acceptance. Indeed, anyone with long, greasy hair, a leather jacket, and a guitar could be seen as an object of ridicule. Rock and roll was surely a fad, right up there with the civil rights movement and the threat of nuclear war. Now, shortly after Elvis went into the Army, an unknown country artist named Bobby Bare penned a talking blues thing that caught the attention of the small fraternity label. Bill Parsons, destined for one-hit wonder fame, recorded it in 1959, and it hit number 3 on the charts. I think parents bought most of them. They were ecstatic. Surely this was the death knell of rock and roll. Bill Parsons, the All-American Boy, on Old School.
Gather round, cats, and I'll tell you a story about how to become an all-American boy. Buy you a guitar and put it in tune. You be rocking and rolling soon. Impressing the girls, picking hot licks, and all that jazz. I bought me a guitar a year ago, learned how to play in a day or so. And all around town it was well understood that I was knocking them out like Johnny B. Good. Hot licks, showing off. Number 1. Did I practice all day and up into the night? My papa's hair was turning white, 'cause he didn't like rock and roll. He said, you can stay, boy, but that's gotta go. He's a square. He just didn't dig me at all. So I took my guitar, picks and all, bid farewell to my poor pa. Split for Memphis, where they say you all them swinging cats are having a ball. Session, hot licks and all, they dig me. I rockin' and a boppin' and I was getting the breaks. The girls all said that I had what it takes. When up stepped a man with a big cigar, he said, come here, cat, I'm gonna make you a star. I put you on bandstand, buy you a Cadillac, sign you, kid. I signed my name and became a star, having a ball with my guitar, driving a big long Cadillac, and fighting the girls off of my back. They just kept a coming, screaming, yeah, they like it. So I picked my guitar with a great big grin, and the money just kept on pouring in. But then one day my Uncle Sam, he said, here I am. Uncle Sam needs you, boy. I'm gonna cut your hair off. Take that rifle, kid. Give me that guitar. Yeah.
Good show.
In 1961, Stan Freberg, Madison Avenue's most noted radio genius, had an idea for a concept album that almost became a Broadway musical. From the time of the real Mad Men, here's an important moment from Stan Freberg Presents the United States of America. From 1776, we get in on what was really happening during the birthing of the Declaration of Independence, with a bit Stan liked to call, a man can't be too careful what he signs these days.
The trouble continued to brew. It was a time for action and a time for words. On a hot July night in 1776, Benjamin Franklin was aroused from his work by the call of destiny.
Hey, you in there, Ben?
Who's that, Sylvia?
It's the call of destiny.
Come on, take a look through the curtains there.
It's Tom Jefferson.
What, again? Well, it's no good. I'll have to let him in. I'm coming.
Hi, Ben.
Tom?
You got a minute?
Well, I tell you the truth, we were just going out of town for the weekend.
But it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, you know, a penny saved is a penny earned.
Well, what does that got to do with anything, Franklin?
I don't know. Just the first thing came into my head. I was just making conversation. An idle brain is the devil's playground, you know.
So you're pretty good at that, aren't
Yeah,
you?
there's some new wise sayings I just made up.
Wise saying?
Yeah, I call them wise sayings. Oh, what can I do for you?
Well, I got this petition here I've been circulating around the neighborhood. Kind of thought you'd like to sign it. It's called the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I heard about that. Sounds a little suspect, if you ask me.
What do you mean, suspect?
Well, you're advocating the overthrow of the British government by force and violence, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but we've had it with that royal jazz.
Who's we?
Well, all the guys.
Who's all the guys?
Oh, George, Jim Madison, Alex Hamilton, Johnny Adams, you know, all the guys.
Ha! The lunatic fringe.
Oh, they are not.
Bunch of wild-eyed radicals. Professional liberals, don't kid me.
Oh, you call George Washington a wild-eyed radical?
Washington? I don't see his name on there.
No, but he promised to sign it.
Oh, yeah, that's George for you. Talks up a storm with them wooden teeth. Can't shut him off. When it comes time to put the name on the old parchment Rooney, try and find him.
Hey, what are you so surly about today?
Surly to bed and surly to rise.
Oh,
Makes
all
a
right,
man...
let's knock off the one-line jokes and sign the petition. What do you say, huh, fella?
Well, let me skim down it here. When in the course of human events, so, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's pursuit of happiness.
Well, all your S's look like F's here.
No, it's stylish.
Oh, I see.
It's very in.
Oh, well, if it's in. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, so, solemnly publish and declare that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British crown, and so on. A little overboard, isn't it?
Well,
You write this?
Yeah, I knocked it out. It's just a first draft, you know.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, why don't you leave it with me and I'll mail it in, huh?
Oh, come on.
Oh, I tell you, Tom, let me say this. I'm with you in spirit. I'm sure you understand that, but, you know, I gotta play it conservative. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
I got the printing business going pretty good. Almanac made Book of the Month. And then I got the inventions, you know. Got pretty good distribution on the stoves now. And, of course, every Saturday evening, I bring out the mag.
The what?
Magazine.
Oh. Oh, that reminds me. That artist I sent by. Did you look at his stuff?
You mean the Rockwell boy? Skinny kid with the pipe?
Yeah, that's a kid.
Yeah, I glanced at it, and he's too far out for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know you got to play it safe.
Yeah.
But getting back to the signing of the petition, how about it, huh?
Well,
It's a harmless paper.
Oh, sure, harmless. I know how these things happen. You go to a couple of harmless parties, sign a harmless petition, and forget all about it. 10 years later, you get hauled up before a committee. No, thank you. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life writing in Europe.
Oh, come on.
Come on, what?
Come on and put your name on the dotted line.
I got to be particular what I sign.
It's just a piece of paper.
Just a piece of paper, that's what you say.
Come on and put your signature on the list.
It looks to have a very subversive twist.
How silly to assume it. Won't you nom de plume it today? You're so skittish. Who possibly could care if you do?
The Un-British Activities Committee, that's who.
Let's have a little drinko and fill the quill.
It sounds a little pinko to me, but still.
Knock off the timid manner if you want a banner to raise.
Banner to raise.
I must take
a stand
for this brave
new land,
for who wants
to live,
so conservative.
I don't diss,
he don't
disagree,
agree,
but a man can't be too careful what he signs these days. Well, if I sign it, will you renew your subscription?
Yeah, if you promise not to keep throwing it on the roof.
Well,
If it isn't on the roof, it's in the rose bushes or in the mud.
my eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know. Besides, it's hard to hit the porch from a horse.
Now, come on. All we want to do is hold a few truths to be self-evident.
You sure it's not going to start a revolution or anything?
Trust me.
Okay, give it to me. You got a quill on you?
Here you are.
All right. Look at this show-off Hancock, will you? Pretty flamboyant signature for an insurance man.
You did a good thing, Ben. You won't be sorry. Now, if I can just get another 3 or 4 guys, we'll be all set.
Well, I tell you one thing.
What's that?
You better get him to sign it in the next couple of days before they all take off for the 4th of July weekend.
The days of being born to be wild on a magic carpet ride were over for Steppenwolf in 1969 when they decided to get political and sound off on Vietnam and the justice system. But it made for interesting listening nonetheless. Here's the song that brought it all home, the disjointed but lovable monster, Steppenwolf.
While he's drying off back there, what it's really all about is that despite the things that are wrong in our country, there are too many good things worth saving to let the whole thing go down the drain. So I think we should get together as much as we can and bring about change.
The hunted and weary, chasing the promise of freedom and hope, came to this country to build a new vision, far from the reaches of kingdom and gold. While we bullied, stole, and bought a homeland, we began the slaughter of the red man, but still from near and far to seek America, they came by thousands to conquer the wild. But she just patiently smiled and bore a child to be the spirit and guiding light. The blue and green, they stopped it, they kicked her just like a dog. And when the war was over, they stopped it just like a hog. And though the past has its share of injustice, kind was the spirit in many a way. But its protectors and friends have been sleeping. Now it's a monster and will not obey. The cities have turned into jungles, and corruption is scrambling the land. The police force is watching the people, and the people just can't understand. We don't know how to mind our own business, 'cause the whole world's got to be just like us. Now we are fighting a war over there. No matter who's the winner, we can't pay the cost. 'Cause there's a monster on the loose. It's got our heads into the noose, and it just sits there, watching.
got your brain. TV got your brain.
It is the All-American Red, White, and Blue mixtape on Old School today. You can subscribe to the newsletter anytime and get podcasts in your email absolutely for free. That would be retrofit.substack.com. You can also go to Retrofit Old School on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I'm Professor Mikey. So we all know that David Bowie was quite ahead of his time. This was recorded in 1997, however, when Bowie was the only one saying, "I'm afraid of Americans."
Johnny's in America, no tricks at the wheel. No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Johnny's in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. Johnny's in America. Johnny wants a brain. Johnny wants to suck on the coke. Johnny wants a woman. Johnny wants to think of a joke. Johnny's in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. Johnny's in America. Johnny looks up at the stars. Johnny combs his hair and Johnny wants to be seeing cars. Johnny's in America. Johnny's in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. Yeah, I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the worst. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. God is an American. 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 God is an American.
Next, we have a song Chan Marshall recorded in Australia in 1998. A little secret, the backwards drum beat is really a slowed-down reverse drum from the 1986 Beastie Boys song Paul Revere. Pretty appropriate for a song about a friend whose drawing and on the wall is an American flag. And this is Cat Power.
My friend sits at his magic hand feel nothing but time. My old friend sits at the his magic mind doesn't feel anything. American flag is behind. If I could stand to be less difficult, my new friend plays drums all the time. Her magic heart feels everything. She plays the difficult parts and I play difficult. She goes shoot, shoot, ba-doo, shoot, ba-doo, shoot, ba-doo, ba-doo. We go shoot, shoot, ba-doo, shoot, ba-doo, shoot, ba-doo. If I could stand to be less difficult.
Coming up on the All-American Red, White, and Blue mixtape, two songs inspired by our 32nd president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR, a fan of calypso music, went to Trinidad in 1936 and was the subject of a song made famous by calypso legend Attila the Hun. Ry Cooder will perform that song, to be followed by Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, an open letter to the First Lady following her husband's passing in 1945. That letter was written by Woody Guthrie and is performed in a 1968 Carnegie Hall tribute by Bob Dylan. FDR on the RWB MIX.
When Roosevelt came to the land of the hummingbird, shouts of welcome were heard. When Roosevelt came to the land of the hummingbird, shouts of welcome were heard. His visit to their island is bound to be an epoch in local history, definitely marking a new era, keeping Trinidad in America. For this great man, jubilation was evinced by the entire population. French friendship for the USA was shown, and from his house the stars and the stripes were flown. For the state threw open the gates to the President of these United States. In fact, everybody was glad to welcome Roosevelt to Trinidad. To see the Democratic President of the great republic, with his charming and genial personality and his wonderful urbanity. We were struck by his modest style and was intrigued by the famous Roosevelt smile. No wonder everybody was glad to welcome Roosevelt to Trinidad. We understand that the president had just been on a visit to Brazil and the Argentine. Mr. Cordell Hull and attendants, they took part in a peace conference to stop war and atrocity and make the world safe for democracy. The greatest event in the century in the interest of suffering humanity.
Roosevelt, don't hang your head in pride. His mortal flesh is laid away, but his good work fills the sky. This world was lucky to see him born. Now he went up to the grade school and he wrote back to his folks. He drew such funny pictures and was always pulling jokes. This world was lucky to see him born. He went up to Harvard to read his books of law. He loved his trees and horses. He loved everything he saw. This world was lucky to see him born. He got struck down by the fever and it settled in his leg. He loved the folks that wished him well and everybody did. This world was lucky to see him born. He took office on a crippled leg, and he said to one and all, you money changing racket boys sure enough got to fall. This world was lucky to see him born. look for him again. He tried to find an honest job for every idle man. This world was lucky to see him born. He helped me to build my union, and he learned me how to talk. I could see he was a cripple, but he learned my soul to talk. This world was lucky to see him born. I was a GI in the army the day he passed away, and over my shoulder I could hear some soldiers say, this world was lucky to see him born. I know this world was lucky just to see him born. I know this world was lucky just to see him born. This world was lucky to see him born.
Coming up, 2 takes on the American dream. But before the dreams, a couple of facts. During the War of 1812, Samuel Wilson, a butcher in Troy, New York, shipped pork to the Army in kegs that he stamped U.S. However, he didn't look anything like Uncle Sam. The guy who posed for the original paintings of Uncle Sam was really a pro clown named Dan Rice. His image was so compelling, though, that he ran for the American presidency as a Republican. And yes, the man who looked like Uncle Sam lost. Now we're ready for our American Dream songs from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and Spinal.
We came like babies from a home across the sea to see America, and the people opened up their arms to welcome us to America. We came like children from a far and distant land to see America, and the golden sun of freedom filtered down to us in America. And the people stood and stared, loved us more than we had dared to in America.
From the album This Is Spinal Tap, it's called America. We wouldn't be living in America if it wasn't for the late, great godfather of soul, James Brown. Here's a different song of his, America Is My Home.
Talking about me leaving America, you got to be crazy. Man, I like all the nice things, Jack. Continental suits and things. Look here. Now, I'm sorry for the man who don't love this land. Now, black and white, they may fight. But if the enemy come, we'll get together and run them out of sight. Now, look here. The sun don't come out in rainy weather. But when you boil it down, they are still together. Now let's not overlook the fact that we're still in reach. You got a chance to make it, and you got a freedom of speech. Say what you wanna, tell them how you feel. There may be a lot of places that you'd like to go. But believe me, if you get an education, you can't blow. You can't hardly blow. Now dig this. Now you tell me if I'm wrong. America is still the best country, and that's without a doubt. America is still the best country without a doubt. And if anybody says it ain't, you just try to put them out. They ain't going nowhere. You got a good fight. When I told you one time that I was a shoe shine boy, every word I said, I meant. But name me any other country you can start as a shoe shine boy and shake hands with the president. It ain't gonna happen. You got to have that royal blood to make it. And I ain't got nothing royal but me. So I can't take the chances. I'm gonna stay home. Now look at here. I got a brand new jet. When I need to move. A soul brother made it. Now ain't that a groove? So look at here. Brothers and sisters and friends, dig this. So quit your dreaming all night. Stop pitying yourself and get up and fight. Don't give out. You might give up, but don't give out. If you give out, don't give up. Just don't quit going. I mean, keep it moving, you know. Because if you stop, the ball quit rolling. Now, we got tours that carry us from Florida to Rome. But you know, it's one thing we'll never forget. America's still our home. Hit it, band! God bless America. I was talking about me too, you know. I'm American myself.
Happy America's birthday, everybody, and thanks again for tuning in to Old School number 27, the All-American Red, White, and Blue Mixtape. We got to a lot of tunes during the show. You can find the complete playlist on the Retrofit newsletter, which you can read online at retrofit.substack.com. As long as you're there, take out a free subscription. Tune in on some earlier podcasts, read some stories from Professor Mikey, a guy who gets lost and found in time on a regular basis. When you subscribe, new episodes and stories will show up in your inbox. Magic. If you prefer your Apple or Spotify to play your podcast, search Retrofit Old School and take me along. Old School, the podcast, is produced for educational purposes. If you were entertained, it was a happy accident. Any and all music heard in this program resides within the public domain, has been cleared through proper channels, or is used within the guidelines of fair use provided for in Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Seriously, you have other things to worry about. I'm Professor Mikey. Thank you so much for listening. I'm done, but we still have works of genius from Stan Freberg, Prince, and Kate Smith. Have a safe and independent 4th of July. Join me next time when Retrofit presents Old School.
whoever he wants or she wants to be. That's why we say the USA is still okay in our book. But just remember, we can't always take it for granted. Be glad that you're living where peace still sings. Here in America, 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 the one great nation where freedom reigns.
New song?
Brand new, first time in the air. Brand new, my eye. You know, I threw that song out of Yip Yip Yap Hank 22 years ago. Sounds better now.